Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan, I'm an artist, and in this series I'm documenting my process through creating a triptych series. Today I will be finishing the third piece. I'm going to be going through and tracing out the rest of the piece because currently a lot of what's on the bottom is done in Vine charcoal. I'm going to be using compressed charcoal to go through and trace out the rest of it. After that, I'll be putting in some value, and then after that, it's going to be going into starting to render. The reason I'm using compressed charcoal to trace out this drawing is because this section of the drawing is done in Vine charcoal. Vine charcoal blends in very easily. So when I go to add value and start blending everything in, it'll make it virtually impossible to see the original drawing. Compressed charcoal leaves an impression. So when I go in to blend everything together, I'll still be able to see where the drawing is. So I finished tracing out the rest of the drawing, and now I'm rendering things out a little bit. I usually try to block in these areas as I move my way down the piece, and I try to make them as nice as I can so that they're in a pretty good place when I decide to come back to them. Okay, so we got the value in. Now I need to go through and start putting in some of the highlights into the front bushes. After that, it's pretty much just rendering and polishing the entire piece until it's done. It's going to be going in and making the areas darker that need to be darker, making some areas brighter that need to be brighter, and just overall cleaning. This is one of the parts that I really enjoy because it's a lot of detail focus. I'm not having to spend an incredible amount of time in one area. I can kind of just move around the piece and bring it to life, really polish it, get it to where I really want it to be. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going in, polishing, refining the details. I'm using a blending stump to help me get some of these areas darker, just like that are really close to these really light spots. This blending stump is helping me get rid of any inconsistencies with the piece. It's allowing me to go in to the areas that need just a little bit more dark, but the areas are too small for the paper towel, and this has a fine point to it that allows me to blend in these tiny areas. So I know this video doesn't have a lot of talking parts, and that's because I got really sucked into what I was doing. It's kind of this really cool thing that happens sometimes when I'm making art where I just kind of enter a flow state and I get really fixated on the thing that I'm making. It feels like there's a stream of consciousness going from my brain onto the paper or onto the sculpture or onto whatever it is the thing that I'm doing. This whole feeling is why I like making art. It kind of closes my mind off to the rest of the world. And that's essentially what's happening here. I got really into the zone, got really into making what I was making, and it's just really cool. So yeah, I know there isn't a lot of clips of me pausing and talking about what I'm doing, but I hope that this little snippet is at least kind of interesting and gives you something to think about. Okay, I think I'm done. I put a lot of work into this piece and I'm really happy with it. I think it came out pretty well. Now that all three are done, the plan is to line them all up and see if there's any inconsistencies. I want to go through and really polish each piece so that they all match. I'm going to save that for next week though, because I think that's a pretty long process and I'd like to record everything in its own separate video. In that video, I'm probably going to be using a lot of spray fixative and white charcoal pencil to kind of bring out some of those highlights and fix any unwanted blemishes that I couldn't get out with an eraser. Until then, I think I'm done for the day, so thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see the next video, like this video if you like it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.